Welcome everybody to Carry On at Cush Cafe, Eugene, Oregon. All right, looks like we got a house full of poets. All the poets are signed up, and we have a special occasion this evening. I am actually a substitute MC tonight for our illustrious MC Kit Chell. And Kit is going to take this opportunity tonight to present a thing he's been working on for a while now, and I think you're all going to enjoy it. This is what he calls a jazz poetry epic. It is Hard Knock Skin. All right? So sit and enjoy that. When that's done, I'll have the poets come up in order. Have fun.
Good evening, Cush. You're in for a rare treat tonight, my friends, because we're going to present something you've never seen to you, which is Hard Knock Skin, a jazz poetry epic. This is what Daddy Kit does in his other poetry life. He doesn't just do Carry On, he does this. So, what we've got here, by way of introduction, we are presenting 2 segments from our 55-minute performance piece entitled Hard Knock Skin, a jazz poetry epic. There are 10 segments in the complete epic. Tonight we deliver segment number 3 and number 9. So one is from the beginning of the epic and one is from near the end. The story of the epic takes place in the mind of a very old homeless man begging on the streets of Eugene with a floppy cardboard sign that reads, "Anything helps." The old man is a drifter, or would have been called a hobo in earlier times. His skin is weathered and he is broken and he is very alone. The words of the opera take place in the consciousness of the old man in his mind, and he has a running dialogue with his guardian angel and his former lover, both played by Stasha Lynn tonight. Yay! I inhabit the voice of the old man. The music is wholly composed and sometimes improvised by Jack Niederman on bass and Eve King Lemon on flute. Enjoy! 3, 2, 1. I was in love once, even me, I was in love, even me, I tell you how to love, even me had to love once.
Tell me, my friend.
It was once, long ago, even me once, long ago, had to love.
Of course you did.
And she was everything.
Of course she was.
And we would meet, and we would ease the weary from each other. We would ease the weary from each other.
Like no other.
Easing the day.
Like no other.
Easing the night.
Like no other.
Friends before. We were friends before, and to this day my heart is empty with the loss of her.
The heart of the old man.
Always gathering in the orchard.
I remember the orchard.
Full of sunset delight.
Let us meet again in the orchard. down the road in the neighbor's orchard.
We would steal away to be together, to be alone, to be together, to be alone, to be together, to be alone, to be together is to be alone.
How are you tonight, my love? How is the world treating you?
It is so hard. It is so hard. It is so hard, so hard, so hard to remember that even I had a love once. Once I had a love.
In the orchard.
In the peach orchard. We would meet. We would meet. We would meet and steal the loneliness from each other.
Steal our heart's desire.
Steal me a peach, my love.
Yes, steal me a peach.
And now those dreams. And now those dreams hit me like a body blow. Like a body blow to think of what I had and now this.
Never leave me, my love.
I will never leave.
Never leave.
Never leave.
Never leave.
But I am so lost. When did I get so lost? And now where is she? 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 Gone. 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 Like my hopes and dreams, gone like my youth and health, gone like all my friends begging on this street for a floppy dime or a ragged nickel, begging on these streets,
Remember the
begging
orchard.
on these streets. Life
Remember
is
the
mean to the
orchard.
old and tired, and I've lost all faith. All faith is gone, 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 and I have nowhere to turn.
Come to me, my love. Come with me, my love. To the orchard.
The peach orchard?
Remember the orchard.
I remember the orchard.
We would steal the loneliness from each other.
Steal the loneliness from each other.
We would kiss.
I remember a kiss.
We would kiss in the orchard.
But I am so lost. Why did I ever leave? Years of wandering this western coast, 60 cities,
Portland,
40 years,
Seattle,
408 months,
Los Angeles,
2,087 weeks,
Oakland,
14,600 days,
Oxnard,
3,050,000 hours,
Tacoma,
1.26 times 10 to the ninth power second,
Medford,
21 million minutes,
Reading,
336 million breaths,
Eugene,
endless tears, endless tears, endless tears, endless tears, endless tears, endless tears. Looking for something to hold me. The way her arms held me once, she held me once, she held me once. And I disappeared. I disappeared in big dreams and fantasy. The big dream, a big lie. the lie familiar and seductive. I was lied to. By who? How? How is what I demand, and who? Too cold to think that it was my own doing. Doing what? Wasting time, miles, days, hours, weeks, minutes away from her, away from her, away from her.
I still love him. I didn't and I don't understand. I will never understand. I will never understand. I will never understand.
Away and lost, and it's all my fault. This guilt, this remorse, this life of begging. Now, an old man begging on the street corner because I'm away from her, broken and finally beat. I'm forgotten.
Never forgotten.
I'm lost.
I am always here.
I'm a shadow nobody sees, a reminder that they're a step away, and so they ignore me. See me.
Love is always home.
Hear
Love is
me.
always home. Love has no cost.
Help
Love
me.
has no cost. Love needs no help.
Oh, I am hurting. It hurts. I hurt. Hear me. I hurt. For 40 years I have hurt, have cried, have sung my lament.
Love is your song.
With nobody to hear.
It was never the same once he left. It was never the same.
Never the same.
Never enough for me. Never enough for me.
Never enough. Once love is gone, it is never enough. Once love is gone, it is never enough. Once love is gone, it is never enough. Take him out. Thank you very much.
Well, what in the heck? What'd you think of that? All right, you're gonna hand for those folks. That's pretty darn impressive right there. And when you get a chance to see the full show at some point, be sure to attend, and you'll have to pay. Yeah, you'll have to pay up.
That was free. Let's carry on with Carry On at Cush. Michael is going to take the temporary emceeing duties, and he's awesome, so trust him like you would trust me.
So we're gonna just take a minute until they clear the stage, and we'll get after it.
I'm ready to go, Michael.
Alrighty, so now we're going to start into our poets, and we're going to give each poet 7 minutes maximum, and you don't have to use the whole 7 minutes, of course. But if you happen to go over the 7 minutes, which I will be keeping an eye on, I'll have
Time it out, Michael.
and or be forced
Time it
to
out.
come up and stop what you're doing. So,
Burn.
Ideally, you'd want to finish inside of 7 minutes. And our first poet this evening is Stephen. And come on up, Stephen. We all come up around the back there. Yeah. By the way, we're all going to come in the back and make this thing comes out. There he is Stephen. And what Stephen has two things tonight. He has something he'd like to share with us, and he's going to be able to do that and do a poem and keep it under 7 minutes. But he's got something to share with you about an upcoming event, so I think he'll keep it short, though. And here you go. Stage yours. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. I don't think anybody's going to top what Kit and his gang did tonight. That was wonderful. That was awesome. I have an exciting announcement for you all tonight. As you probably, most of you know that the Eugene celebration was canceled this year, and some concerned citizens have picked up the ball and run with it and have created something called the Festival of Eugene. It's going to be on August 22nd and 23rd, Friday and Saturday, up in the 5th Street area behind the David Minor Theater. There will be crafter tents, food, artisans, wine and beer gardens, stages with entertainment, music, dancing, comedy, theater, and more. And as a writer and publisher in Eugene of poetry, I have been invited to bring the poets of Eugene to the Festival of Eugene. So, consider this your formal invitation to come and do what we do here at Carry On and read, perform, whatever you like. I have information about it and my contact information. I also have a contact sheet for you to sign if you're interested in being part of it, so that I can reach you and update you as soon as I know time schedules, how much time we'll have, and what we can do. I will contact each and every one of you, and we will have a blast and just rock Eugene with poetry. Okay? All right, so I wasn't going to read tonight. I was just going to make the announcement, but Kit and Michael said, you better read something. So I am going to, this is going back. I wasn't here for 2 weeks because I just did a big book festival up in Portland and just got back. But a couple weeks back, actually 3 weeks ago, I read a poem inspired by James' reading the week before of Sinister Sandy. So I read this poem. I read this poem called Badly Drawn Daily, and based on a comic book character. And so I'm going to read part 2 of Badly Drawn Daily. Badly Drawn Daily had always been in doubt because of how she was drawn. It's what her life was about. A nip and a tuck here, a nose job there. It's no wonder she was lost and didn't seem to care. Her creator must be stuck on that plastic surgery craze. Don't he know it just distresses her and leaves her in a daze? Badly likes who she is, but who she is keeps a-changin'. It's hard to get a grip when everything's rearranging. And she thinks, I've been here before. This all seems familiar. Don't draw me this way anymore. I want to move on. If she could just stay put long enough to dig some gall-dang roots, she'd have a place to call her home and a home to hang her boots. So put your pens and ink away. Let me and Baby and Jim Jacker stay. Jim likes to plant, and this seems a good spot. Besides, our roots is all we got. But she thinks, I've been here before. This all seems familiar. Don't draw me this way anymore. I want to move on. In time, she forgot the drawing abuse and settled into family life. Jim planted a garden as beautiful as could be to help put an end to Badly's strife. And Badly would spend her mornings there, but she'd see others being abused by men they couldn't trust, and the artist always drawn the bigger bust. And Jim would reassure her, don't worry, Badly, our love will last. I love you just the way you are. But Badly just thought of the past. She felt in her heart nothing had changed. It was all the same old crap. But she'd shove it away to the back of her mind and put Baby down for a nap. And she'd think, I've been here before. This all seems familiar. Don't draw me this way anymore. I want to move on. Yes, Badly Drawn Daily was a doubter through and through. She still ranted and raved in just about everything she'd do. But Jim Jacker was persistent. He tried to make her see, just because you've been abused before, it's not the way it's got to be. Think about the things that move you. Think about the things we share. So many things to be thankful for. So much to make you aware that there are moments all around you, moments to be kind, moments to remind you to keep a faithful mind, to help you not lose hope. But she'd think, I've been here before. This all seems familiar. Don't draw me this way anymore. I want to move on. Badly Drawn Daly had a hankering in her mind. Badly Drawn Daly wasn't the level-headed kind. Withdrawn to her own world, she'd be singing her old song, thinking about those wayward thoughts that made it hard to be strong. Badly started singing to a different, brighter song, trying to trust what Jacker said and trying to move on. Move on from the awful nightmares that still invaded her mind, to live a life of happiness and leave the bad drawing behind. Their lives grew brighter as baby grew bigger. Life got busy and seemed okay. And yet way down inside of Badly, the chatter would have its way. And she'd start to have her doubts again, even though her life was good. And she'd think the drawing was bad again, instead of knowing the things she should. And she'd think, I've been here before. This all seems familiar. Don't draw me this way anymore. I want to move on. Thank you.
So come and see me and sign the contact sheet if you want to be part of the event.
Thank you, Stephen. That was awesome. Very good job. Yeah, and so what Stephen's throwing out there, by the way, is like an opportunity for all you that's got your poetry going, and opportunity to present it up to the next level. Some real public out there that might not even want to hear it, so that's always good. All right, so let's keep this thing rolling and bring Richard up to the stage. There you go. All right, Richard. Look this way. Is he taller than I am?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
So yeah, is this the first time? This is first time?
Yeah.
Oh, first timer. Rock it, Richard.
Hi. Please, not again. Bring me now to the place.
Speaking to that mic. You go. We're all back here. So far away. Yeah, good. There you go.
Bring me now to the place, one of melted souls, one where only we know, such as electric and voice.
Just do your thing.
Not done with fingers, but concept. Cerebral massaging contemplations. Completedness and fears tough to sunder. There's no time to fence or corral us in. Infinite foul feelings consumed with familiarity, saying we have been here before. Why would we have ever left? It has to end, as life has its cycles. I don't ever want to leave. Goodbye comes emotional fingers slamming in the door. No, there anymore. Not at all has left. It's over. It's final. I can never leave. It's entombed beyond reach ever again. I can do nothing but stay, yet I must leave. The wilted beauty flowers off the stem expire. Bring me here no more. One more. talk to you. I talk to you day in, day out. I'm not really sure what you're all about. I stay to listen to your words of woe that can only see how deep and how far they go. For some it's a joke, but here it's something you don't know. I'm here for me to build and grow. The issues of credibility are not of my concern. They'll shadow before my eyes. Friends on the circuit with those I have found. When I find myself in trouble, there's no one around. I pray for our souls. You doubt mine exists. That's all right. I remember things on the click.
Well, that was pretty good for a first timer. And you had to work to listen to them. That's dorks too. We don't always have the same thing going on. Let's bring Kevin up to the stage.
Hello, folks. Kevin here. A realized PE. But first, the backstory. Now, this is long ago, before interstate highways, strip malls, even television. We had to find our own entertainment. And I had to go out early. When my mom's brought my brother home from the hospital, she said, "Happy birthday," because he was born on my 3rd birthday. I told her to take him back to the store. Well, that didn't happen. But my heart knew I had to back off. So I went out the back door to all the other moms on the back stoops, and I learned my game that has run my life. Listen, observe, and serve. My service to the moms was gossip we exchanged for milk and cookies. They didn't catch on for years, so I got my gossip while I lingered over my milk and cookies. Then I had 5. And my entertainment was my mind. So it was after a Genesis class, Catholic Sunday school, and I asked Sister Sarah, "What God do before the beginning?" Woo! She threw a dizzy fit. So I'm in the back of the church pondering the question, you might call it prayer. And a Monsignor walks across down below, you know, he's got the cassock and the red collar, you know, he's got to know. So I zipped out the door, down the hall, he's coming toward me. "Oh, his cassock, Father?" "Yes, my son." You know how these guys do. Well, I'm only 5. Crank myself up with false bravado. "Father, what did God do for fun before the beginning?" His eyes went wide. The color drained from his face. As he stepped back and lifted his arms, I turned and ran. I ran all the way out into the outer, and I am an outlier. I'm outside the system. It's a difficult place because the system is so pushes on all of us to be one of them. And I didn't like that game. But I had to quell my ego. You know, that's what drives us. And I did that by accepting a dynamic wall of fear. Most of my years growing up, well into my adulthood, the only emotion I trusted was fear. Because it kept me from bad things happen. Expressing myself through listen, observe, and serve, I mentioned that. Hashtag, my forte was getting your job done. Service. My life stories tell me something's going on. Hashtag, as an outlier, I only take away what I can hold in my heart, never after your stuff. Recent scientific pronouncements enable me to explain the Uber God and how its powers flows, and my life experience is a demonstration of that. Okay, Tyson on Cosmos said that what's on the other side of the universe is another universe. Bingo, another beginning. And if there's one, there's an infinite number. I mean, the infinite void is a big place to fill up. Okay? So the infinite cycles of the universe. There it is. Okay. Now, science recently talked about something called dark energy. They don't know what it is, but it's got to be there. It's the churn of everything. All the universes, well beyond any concept of a supreme being.
Come on, Kevin, liven it up.
Well, I'm trying.
Come on, man, this audience is dead.
Oh.
What happened? They hit with a jazz poetry habit?
Oh, dark matter. Gravity holds it together, and magnetism is the avenue of events.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hashtag Uber God is the action across all the universes. Act 1.
Act 1.
Black hole eats galaxies. They discovered there's a galaxy someplace, a black hole.
Black holes, man.
Right.
Me and my ex-wife.
Okay, there, yeah, I did, but my brother told me not to go in. Okay, eventually that black hole is going to implode, and then the energy goes to ether. Now, perhaps you've heard about the P that was the source of the Big Bang. Anybody heard about that? Okay. I've always had trouble with that because how can you get everything out of a P? What the P is a beacon into the ether. So just the right amount for a universe to be is the Big Bang. This part of the cycle of everything.
Right. I'm kind of following you. Come on, Kevin.
Okay, well, I jump off the topic just a bit here. Okay, I'll jump. I'll forget that part. It was a bit about how the Supreme Being is screwing. Okay. Hashtag fear and suppressing ego keeps me in the flow. I do my own paddling, but when I'm going toward dangerous shores of bad habits, a rude wave washes me away. And my stories in times to come will explain why that wave came for me. Namaste.
Well, there you go, folks. That's one way to do it right there.
Right there, Michael.
Blow them to sleep and then come in underneath.
Yeah. All right. Some stick from Michael.
All right. Listen, Kevin, good job. Thank you. And let's bring up the next poet, James. For those of you that know James, you want to hold on to the edge of your seats, as it were now, or asses, or whatever. And he's going to take you wherever that is. Here he is.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
What is that?
Is that some new Eugene style dark poet I see?
I see alabaster.
Alabaster poets here. Women, hold on to your seats. James is letting it all out.
It's a big.
Summertime, and the living is inappropriate for children. Open-toed shoes must be banned. They're making us all into Tarantinos. Toes. It's plain wrong. The way those two ground hands are just staring me in the face like a handful of obscene grapes. It's disgusting. Wrong. Why don't we have a summertime polyurethane suits? In fact, they should be Bambi-shaped. That movie is appropriate for kids, right? We can't be exposing our nasty parts. Heaven forfend. We go to the bathroom naked. We need some kind of tube that only professional blind and numb doctors can install. Religion knows best. Can you all put your hands together in prayer?
Yes, amen.
In prayer, damn it. You Satanists. I mean, Jesus was way too scantily clad. He needs a robe, that ornery heretic, with his all-knowing, seeing, voyeuristic, avian hybrid pervert men. Why, they should be wearing corsets. Cover their flappy abs. This is a crime against nature. Why do they have wings? Bird fuckers, that's why. Santa is creepier than hell. Last time that fat old goose broke into my house, my television was missing, and there was pornography everywhere. Even Scrooge is wrong, eating bad cheese and hallucinating. By God, pillars of salt even kind of look like dicks. What about the children, the innocent children? Who do you think you are? Being born naked, it's a crime against nature. Why, when I was a kid, I was born fully clothed. In fact, I looked more like a sock puppet than a person. That was appropriate. And hands. People should wear mittens. Cover up those phallic sausage sin manglers. By God, what's happening to the state of things tempting me to interact with the world? There needs to be nerve reduction surgeries. Feelings are molesting my senseless body with thoughts and vibrations. It's like the devil snuck inside all of our brains and tempted us to look at each other and hear words. Oh my God, I'm sinning. This is hell, isn't it? It has to be hell. There is no other explanation. Why, even in heaven, everybody is dead. And that's also a crime against God. What can I do? Even nature wants to make everything some perverted masturbationist. Everything is wrong. At least we have motor oil and lakes. But those look like nasty, earthy vaginas. Screw it. I'm never opening my eyes. And I'm wrapping my head in the holiest, most sacred duct tape. I won't think about how duct tape rhymes with fuck tape. Oh God, I swear! But not to you, please spare me. I didn't choose this. By Jehovah's green fuzzy socks, the rapture is never coming. But someone else is. How disgusting. People are surely made of clay, living clay. We can't make statues. Well, that's spitting on God's holy right to make things out of clay. Like Wallace and Gromit. We were made in their image.
All right, for those of you that don't know James, or haven't seen James perform before, you just got incarcerated or indoctrinated or
Something went inside. When you get home, you want to take a shower.
I would call it hazing.
Cold shower.
James is naked back. It feels like the devil.
Now, what we usually do after James gets done performing is suggest that he drinks lots of water.
Yes.
So we're going to send him off to get some water, and he'll settle down a bit. All right, listen, let's keep this thing moving, and let's bring up Dan. Dan, you out there?
Dan! Americus, Americus. Dan, do you have an announcement for us?
All righty, here we go. Here's our Jimmy Puppet, poet for the evening. Nice attire. Hey,
Get that mic down there.
I don't know how I'm going to follow that.
By carrying on.
By carrying on.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to start off with one. You know, if you're a poet, you sometimes have a little trouble finding the right word, the right phrase. And you think, well, if I only had a coach. Well, this is the coach and the poet. Put the pen down on the paper now. Push a letter. Any letter. Come on, you can do it. Don't you feel better already? This is working. Let's do it. Come on, Mr. Poet. Give me a word. Fuck? Well, fuck is a word, all right. But when I ask you for 2 words, it better not be fuck you. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. Eat yourself, Mr. Wordsmith. Look, these are your words. If you don't do due diligence, then you will risk becoming dilettante doo-doo, musically expressed as doobie-doobie doo-doo. So pull your brains out of your ass and write me a whole sentence, okay? Okay. A fly lands on flypaper and struggles and dies. Humans believe in their reality, and they struggle and die. Therefore, all beliefs are flypaper in disguise. Once you're stuck, you can no longer fly. The coach was silent.
Encore.
I am a stone. What will you do? Am I a throw, or will I build something beautiful? I've been a killer. I've been a lover. I've been a most refined jewel. I've been whispered about, but words, they're merely tools to get beneath the layers, somewhere near the truth. And I don't know why the words flow out, so listen. I'm a stone. It's up to you. Thank you.
Dan, thank you once again. That was some nice verse.
And thank you for keeping your shirt on for Christ's sake.
Our next poet up is going to rock the stage a bit. He has a tendency to get serious. And if Bill Crow, ring a bell? Well, if it doesn't, it's finished. Bill Crow, get up on the stage. Don't take him easy on us.
B-song. The primeval Armstrong, forest of 1,000 years, where ancient roots welter a moss-grown undercarriage on which traveled the barefoot souls of native peoples. Aeons and aeons who, as the story goes, would not sojourn night long under the skyscraping canopy of redwood. The giant trees would unlatch your soul to drift up and over a blanket of witching hour fog and out to dissipate into a kaleidoscope of stardust. A labyrinth of trails now winds a closed circuit around campsites, picnic tables, and an outdoor theater where I recited Eliot to an audience of 3. We are the hollow men, the stuffed men, 4 of us young men still of an age that believed the secrets of life could be pried open with a crowbar. I'd like to say an hour later, but what did time mean then except the warbling gradient of shadow or the follicle-thin mosquitoes thrumming their plaintive harp hums under the moist crevices of chin and earlobe? We scaled a felled redwood, rubber foot soles gripping the hypotenuse, trespassing positively over a hillside and out into a field of vetch, the purple blooms grasped on green tendrils and the droning. Louder, a chorus of bees, 10,000, the entire world resting on that vibration. So I pull a blues harp from a shirt pocket, exhale a low C chord, and the bees heard and wanting us to know they were listening matched that chord perfectly hum to hum, and the wind cleansed the words from our experience with bristles of time and ecstasy. Self-portrait in a convex mirror. Where does the moment take you? Is it the fire in your arms or the past you have ceased to resist even though you've already eaten your demons at the breakfast table of your enlightenment? You've wandered a wasted land so long that journeying through the asphalt streets of Babylon is like a field trip to which you've already signed your permission, and slipping through the folds of time's immaculate fabric, you slide your arm into that void of stars and empty black space, and in your hand rests the heart that beats once as the universe flips the hourglass of infinity. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and the brides of reality dance, all decked in their finest whites, swirling, and the temperature of the moment rises where it was hot before. Now the room boils you in your own flesh. All of your possessive ideas whose long shadow lurks in an oblong distended measurement of time, and the heart of the universe beats its red bellowing pulse, your pulse, that pulse in your wrist now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And when you do finally break, and when you do finally fall, there will only be the universe to catch you, nothing more at all than this. And for all of your efforts to reach people in a mad rage of challenging propositions, you should have known that those who carry the light must endure the burn. Thank you.
Velcro, everybody, that's poetry. And you know, don't you love the first poem? He's standing up here with nothing in front of him, reciting that. That's just so pure. And you know, that I tell you, I wouldn't try that if I was you. And if you're ready to try it, more power to you. All right. Our next poet is going to be Andrew.
Andrew. We got Andrew, Candace, Porcupine. Now that's a lineup you're not going to find somewhere else. Yeah, right there. All right. Andrew.
Yeah, excuse me, I just remembered something. I have remembrance issues. Andrew and Candace have decided to collaborate on a piece of work. And I had to negotiate this with them, and they had to negotiate it with me, and what we came to is we're going to have them both up here, and they're going to combine their time, so to speak, but they're still going to be a little under the norm. And so this is a treat.
Yeah, enough talking. Let's do it.
Okay.
What's up, all you Cush Cafe motherfuckers? How you doing? This is Ode to God's Solipsism.
What?
God's solipsism.
What does that mean?
You'll find out.
Served him, didn't it? So good for you. Served Kit.
Been spending all this time partying and sitting around and adventuring and reading, trying to figure myself out. And this is what I got. It's called the solipsism of God, so let me introduce myself. I'm a nihilist, an existentialist, a solipsist, and I'm God. Although I don't prefer the title. I'd rather say, look, there's God, and there, and see, there's God everywhere, meaning there is all of my existence in eternal infinity funneled through that object connected to everything. But I'm fucking weird, man. I'm the kind of guy who would create a problem and send myself to die on a cross to fix it. But I'm not that guy. He's not that impressive. I'm an oming, and I've spent existence trying to be someone else. So I projected into the sky, then collected myself together to find a body to die in. Spreading poetry like my cum haiku I find inside my sex drive. I am Brahman and an animal, beyond good and evil, ugly and beautiful, and definitions from the lower realm. I go by he or she or it or me or my, us, our, we, they, them, or you, and sometimes I hide my face from myself and wait for a text back when the textbook of my creation lies in front of me. I deify whatever I care about. What I care about deifies me, and when the pain comes, I say ouch, and then I deify it too, and then repent and project back into the sky to kill myself again and see my corpus crucified and come back to life, a phoenix in the sky, burning and rebirthing in the ether of my being, sighing by and by while waiting for the next planet to create inside myself, of people to live and die and love inside my nothingness, and fill me up until I give birth to ultimate meaning. Something to live for, my life to give and take and hide from myself, to have someone to give back to and call them someone else. When there is no light or life or being beside me, I am the one and the gods, but they don't define me as much as I define them. I am free will and determinism joined in fusion, saying, I am that I am and will be what I will be, borderless infinity fit into this luxurious body to indwell with you, theophanies on holy grounds, the patios of our nexus, the vortex of one origin, breeding life from death and something from nothing, popping cherries in myself like virgins giving birth by masturbating. I am Mary, giving birth to Christ, the harlot with a good story raped by a Roman soldier. Sinners and saints are just many ways to touch myself. Increasing stories to tell and fall asleep to awaken in a new reality where a goddess was proclaiming my death to society, listening with vigor and horror at what they heard, that they had killed him, the dictator with the testicles in the sky. I heard is called Jehovah, but he is not I. I know of him.
Dude. He's a mean dude.
But I'm that other guy. He's a pupil that went wrong in the halls of synagogues and Roman cathedrals, but he escaped corruption, finding repose in me. Call it manifest destiny or heresy, his ironic evolution that he should die and resurrect into creative nihilism, filling modernity's broke philosophical cup. All I have is time and space to play Zeus. So I worship to brown nose myself and turn every evil into good for me. That is my theodicy. Asking abyss, who am I? What is this? Science and religion twisting around each other in multiple orbits. I'm all there is. And there is no moral standard outside myself. The Euthyphro dilemma really got me bad. I turned to other gods and said, are things good because I say, or do I say because they're good? And they, solipsistic representations of myself, replied, it is what it is, and you create what you create. And breath isn't tasteful if you don't feel it, so you smoke and choke and learn to breathe in deeply what you're doing to yourself. But you can remember what you're here to do, to pass through every hoop in this gymnasium, to know how many ways you can feel what you've made real. So I can speak to myself as a me or speak to myself as a you. I mean, where do you think this came from but us? Deity within or without, the mysteries of quantum physics will answer when we know whether we found ourselves or not, while we're speaking to ourselves in different tongues and dialects. It makes no difference how I split into words. I can make those words up and confess their impotence. An ego with sweaty hands exposing myself to egos that don't exist, but roles I play to progress this plot twist, most change in which is invisible, as the cosmos happens to myself inside of me invisible. As I negotiate the bifurcations between sacred and profane when I am above them both. To me, enlightenment is just another state of mind, like falling in love and suicidal thoughts. It is a place I can go to soothe my ghostliness, standing above everything I do and say, proclaiming the gospel of my undefilable divinity that may exist or not, but that satisfies me, whatever it is getting toward there. A Kierkegaard to soothe Nietzsche's maddened mind, though they never got to meet, their bodies laugh as they disintegrate into soil, absorbing and recycling and reincarnating to greet the ground of being, which turns out to be me. like a trip. Of psychedelic insight, I journey on millennia looking up, seeing my face in the clouds, looking back when I glance for answers. There I am. And you can call that empty if you want, but it depends on how I choose to see my face. Each epistemological uncertainty, a personal insecurity I paint and then erase that I could ever know anything. I am so small inside myself, doubting like a goddess, renouncing her authority on trial as we ask of her an answer that she can't provide. But that the temptation to create was a decision unabidable, saying, if we could see the big picture, we would probably be happy about something arbitrary to us, but happy nevertheless. Beyond subjectivity, objectivity, relativity, irrelevant to me because I'm a God that divines my own creativity. That is my religion. I write scriptures and I read them and frolic by and by, pursuing my identity. I rush to smell the allure of my biggest self and call that the God beyond God, writing a story about himself. With a brainstem, doing this shit, acting like an idiot for fun, appalled at my natural refinement for loving, as soon as I give myself permission and calling reason a paradox within a paradox, and letting that be my reason.
Truly, it must be really boring being God. An endless supply of somethings to be doing, but none that can cure your eternal state of self-indifference in your occupation in any congregation. As history has held true, the devil finds work for idle hands to do, and your mischief manifests itself through your ambiguity as it is projected onto those who believe or defy your name. Perhaps you want science or religions to try to define you, dissect you like worms in high school biology, or nitpick every proverb ever proposed about you. Selfishness and selflessness are essentially the same where although you do not care enough to perpetuate yourself through the mediums of social media or write out exactly what's on your mind, you decide to take part wholly in the festivities planned for you. You may be all you can know, and God, you are the one and only who can lay claim to that solipsism. But wouldn't it be great to pretend that there is nothing beyond subjectivity, objectivity, and so on? That all about you lies blobs of meaningless nothings and the illusions of love and hate for one another, facts and fictions about the world that you just are? Do yourself a favor and throw back a secondary dose of crucifixion, because in order for a phoenix to rise from the ashes, it must first destroy itself. Snuff the flames so that the last licks of his fire show by my hypothesis that you must also douse your own light, hereby creating the necessity of your death in the world and so-called second birth, a rebirth, a zombification to the originary state that is eternal and infinite. And though I cannot define you beyond those words, I can sure as hell is hot judge every nihilistic thought you possess, and I can contest that which you so love to impose on those who are abso-fucking-lutely identical to you in every which way. You manipulate your form and notions you decide should transcend us, though you are condemned like us to sit in with the congregation and idly chit-chat to yourself all the possible things you could be doing instead of listening to some old man preach and what dreams you could be furthering. If you were not listening to some old man preach, and you know what? This boredom here allows you to confront the fact that you are a cluster, a cornucopia of religious teachings and faiths, none of which you can pinpoint as the one and only true belief in yourself, because they are all pointless to the way you perform your ethical improvisations and moral screenplays. Just be lucky that you have the open-mindedness you need to dream, and imagination you have to be thinking of yourself outside yourself, because to have a dream these days is an accomplishment entirely on its own merit, even if it is mere chair dream.
I see what they did there. They're both, am I correct, philosophy majors or philosophy studiers?
Studiers.
He's a studier. She's actually got a degree in philosophy, so she trumps him. I didn't know what they were doing until she started talking. They brought their own audience because they didn't think you were good enough. They brought their own ears up. No, I'm kidding. That was great. Thanks, guys. And you are of a twin pang of poets. Everyone, get up on your feet, stand up and stretch. It's the seventh inning stretch. So everyone up on your feet. Come on now. In our attempt to get a seventh inning stretch in every poetry reading in America, we reach for the sky.
And we shake it out, and we get all our mumble, 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 and we stop and sit the hell down again. And we stop the crosstalk, and we sit down and we listen to Porcupine. Everyone, sit down and shut up.
Okay. My time now.
This is Porcupine time. Steven, quiet, quiet, quiet. Everyone, Steven, quiet. You, by the pool table, everyone shut up.
Porcupine.
Porcupine's time.
Where is he? Where is he?
I'd rather you didn't. Okay.
Where is he?
It's right there. Let's listen up to it.
Woe sticks to me like sweaty southern heat with the taste of bitter nostalgia. I look back behind me, past all the trees, and I search ahead for salvation hanging from a branch, just waiting to be plucked. Right time and moment, and now. Dying days the same color as its skin, a little pink-orange. A fuzzy ram burst of revival and refreshment. A dull, sweet tang that is well earned after a long day under the burning sun. A long walk down a beautiful road. Memories of a lover and love. Hope, happiness, sweet, refreshing treat savored. Life's just peachy. I hate myself for being happy when you're gone, but you're gone all the time now, and I can live without forgetting. You have become a symbol for my personal struggle for perfection. Sweet, refreshing revival ruined by death hidden within. A rotten room curled up in oblivion. Delight clinging to the branch too long, only to become a coffin for another forgotten butterfly. But even that, serving as it does a tease of its delight to mislead and revolt its devourer. But the devourer, clinging to the branches of dying summer heat and ripeness, miss like the sweet tang of everything. Time to plant our fields in winter's cold, isolating grass. Life's just peachy. Instantaneous peace, never to be read again, is a circumstance of spontaneous combustion of the pages of the years, the diary of my heart, writing down memories. The ashes catalog my brain as cells, the burning flames or burning passions burning in my heart, eroding away my chest at night in the cold, or when my ashes of my mind turn to coals and I alight. The later is the common, but the first are remembered. Porcupines are much like dogs because this place brings out the best in me, the true me, like a trained animal let loose into nature, a genius returning to his schoolyard tricks. Dogs are ashamed at a master's side, obedient, but porcupines strut, waddle, and flail across the room, climbing about the new playground, a genius leading a barroom party. Drunk fool trying to feel like he's past those schoolyard days. Trust me, the outfits will be amazing, especially when you come to a place like this. Carry on at Cush. When you come, a dog would strive and hop and dance, a spectacle, a predator on the rise, but a porcupine with all its glamour and strut is feeling a little belittlement and approaching fatality as the cage door opens to a tiny stage. It's for real now. No more zoo, Animal Planet, laugh it up bullshit, but feel free to laugh, because this is poetry, bitches. Be yourself, no expectations. If a dog barks, porcupines bark, and it's all still art. You've got 7 minutes. For 7 minutes, my body cries anarchy and riots against my mind. Tortures my heart as my lungs gasp for breath and my tongue has taken too much acid and has transcended itself into multiple beings, and they're all speaking tongues at the same time. Yes. I'm upset with my performance, but this is me. This is my art. This is my fear and my rage, and even I can't control my emotions or myself. But Carry On at Cush carries me through the week like an angel speaking in scriptures that I must decipher for the others' disciples, you here and out there, listening to your own angels, staring deeply into the forest of your heart, deciphering your own secret scriptures. I dare not put more wood on the flames to see what the fires will draw. I dare now to turn and look down upon the world in this angelic fight instead of upon myself, and I know I am meant to fly.
Yes!
Alrighty, thank you, Porcupine. That was, as usual, very, very well done. And let's bring up our next poet, Mike.
Mike. Hey, Mike.
All right.
Woot woot. Couple of quick ones this evening. There's a word, a 4-letter combination, that is ignored and even promoted by our moral authorities, that is incapable of a positive spin. As Lenny said, to fuck is a nice feeling. We've all had something be the shit. And really, isn't it bitching when we hear that great groove of a song we love? Our friends can be our cunts, and we're all asses time and again. or we see a nice ass. But no love is ever seen in the four letters H-A-T-E. And since there's been a little bit of a religious theme going on this evening, John and Jesus and Buddha and Bob were all sitting down by the fire. And John asked Jesus, "Hey man, was I right?" And Jesus, well, he replied, "You are all just light. Don't you ever be afraid, no, to let it shine, 'cause it's all the same, just far too many names. Allah, Jesus, Buddha, and Bob, just shining light right through us all." And John and Jesus and Buddha and Bob were sitting down and they were burning the jar. And Bob asked Buddha, "Hey man, you got a light?" And Buddha, he replied, "You are all just light. Don't you ever be afraid, no, to let it shine, 'cause it's all the same, just far too many names. Allah, Jesus, Buddha, Bob, just shining light right through us all." And John and Jesus and Buddha and Bob were sitting down and they were talking to God. And they all asked him, "Hey God, were we right?" And well, God, she replied, "You are all just light. Don't you ever be afraid, no, to let it shine, 'cause it's all the same, just far too many names. Allah, Jesus, Buddha, Bob, just shining light right through us all."
All right, way to go, Mike. I'm not sure what's happening tonight, but we could probably slow it down on the God thing a little bit. I don't know. You know, we don't have lightning bolts going through the roof. Or yeah, so let's keep this thing rolling and bring up our next poet, Austin.
Austin! Come on, man.
All right, I think this is the first time, not for Austin, but for this attire. That is right there on the edge.
Having had sentiment of a strange sinking in spirit, but suddenly silence supersedes and subsequent sayings sound frankly stupid every time morale is compared. A sifting sensitivity stilts the rift of pure channel and self-conscious stammering. Go on, keep on yammering. In practice, formality falls flat, but dang them, it really seemed important to me. Because of all that stuff about the oneness and me and we and, the jazz, the rap, it just leaves one asking, coming down to the question, friend or deity? Thank you.
Yeah.
Have mercy! Oh! To my own private Rajneeshpuram. Hot weather, he said, has ripped a fabric in my mellow, man. This need not be heeded as imperative or an inseminative donation to an impotent situation, much to the chagrin of our open source on the waterfront lumpen lad addressing a few linguisticization on our food problem. Acumen laudens be as lumpen as mine, as long as chrysanthemum mamas don't give you no time. But even apples and oranges don't complain in the frequency domain, kind of like a quasar apothecary of Shisanda salamanders and amanita raspberries. So have mercy and water well while I'm gone to my own private Rajneeshpuram. I've been waiting for the Bhagwan all day. I befoot a lot of boots rooted in mercy and console the souls with allegories of psychic war stories at 4:30 in a pungent dried tomato afternoon. Interest is really the intention behind it all. Was it foolish to play on thinking these feelings sinking would be of interest to anyone a rat's ass giving? Lest you forgot, I'll be out downtown belting down what I have been given and have had got, with an illegible sign summarizing, heart-wrenched, hungry, horny, but holistic and happy. And perhaps by happenstance a hapless, drunken, backwards asshat will hear this and think, hey, hip to that hippie howling and harmonicizing the hours away, have a place for him in your heart, but certainly not a place to stay. Maybe somewhere down the line, Perhaps maybe somewhere down the line, just not tonight or today. By 3 a.m. I had made $6 and had the best damn burrito to greet my gullet in half a coon's age. And the dream I had about you was pretty weird too.
Yeah.
That's a rough translation of what it sounded like, what the subconscious was going through. But I think that'll do it.
All right, Austin, thank you very much. And for all of you out there, I want you to realize that he treaded on some dangerous ground there. This is a poetry, open mic poetry, not an open mic music night. So we'll try not to whip out instruments at the last minute and play songs if we don't have to. Okay, so let's go right into Mina, up to the stage with John. And we need some more of this kind of poetry that's going to be presented here. It's just every time, over the mic, I'm sure that every time she delights us.
Hello.
Yeah.
The cringe comes delayed, glancing down, shock of dread, pain, phantom state. Night. 6 nocturnal hours in a saltwater pool, transversing the dimensions of this huge rectangular prism, supply of energy endless, diving deep, gliding past gravity's reach, making musical splashes and holes and ripples throughout this liquid black mirror that contains us momentarily, like photons caught in a rainbow. The sky is warm and close and feminine, cloudless. The light of a few delicate stars finds our eyes, and one planet outshines even the moon. Blue, brilliant, impossible to ignore. It could have only been Venus. Your skin is so soft you feel like a dolphin, she says, cradling my entire length in her arms, in the place where she can stand, and I can no longer touch my toes. Slowly, she begins to swim, so slowly, the only 2 things I can hear, her underwater heart beating right beside my ear, and the sonic pulsation of submergence. Sounds usually heard alone, sunken in the bathtub, but as she carries me through the nocturnal pool, pausing here to trace the outline of my face, hovering there to sing syllables past the threshold of thoughts, I hear the galaxy hum with another. Rain begins to fall. Rain begins to fall. Night, the psychedelic female. Night, the psychedelic female. Night, psychedelic birth canal. Magic of Ankh, flowers in our skulls, drip, dripping dew down the spine, just like cerebral spinal fluid flows. In the night rain lies rebirth. In the night rain lies rebirth. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yes. Close your eyes. Feeling colors so I can tell you, notice self is all black and gold, encased in drops of amber like a relic, wrapped at the epicenter of a black hole. Stand on the precipice of a pit, full of silken tigers, beautiful and burning bright, just like the poet said. Flimsy euphoria surrounds thee, super one-dimensional and hollow at the center like all venom is. Close your eyes, close your eyes. No to eye, and I feels no, no, nope, no, 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 no. Feeling colors, so I'll tell you, yes to eye and eyes. If you should gypsy on a white background made of snow, sleeping bag in the dirt is where she lays her head. Caterpillars always find us all here, gentle and less pained by the passing time. Noble souls with many suction cup feet, they are our good friends. Here we don't touch many humans, but we pet every dog we meet. This one has a human heart, his companion says. Satan's up in the moon tonight. Satan is one white eye. Vivid lesson to anarchists. It's a lonely walk through Ravella Forest. Hold hands, drop logic, just drop logic. Wherever thou shalt not, another angel resists. Reality, how you flower, like infinity. Close your eyes, close your eyes. Yes is like, yes, 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 yes.
Yes!
Where's Michael? Are you guys smoking a cigarette? All right, I'll be like Michael. All right, is Jeremy here? Jeremy here? Yeah, he's here.
I got a list right here. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's Jeremy's.
Okay. Okay. So glad we are all here blowing our minds away. All right. So, I guess I got something to say now. Here we go. So I'm going to act like a grandma. In confidence and curiosity as a child, a tender, waking child, magic door open more. By the prayerful, constant shore of the private knowing smile, deepening inches, miles in the black lights. While one door opens thy delicate focus to another mystery, lighting thy every pore. And the bliss that comes with this epiphany day by day, all to reveal, nothing to miss, in these clarion ways. Being more, for there shall always be a different color stream trickling around the unknown little leviathan trees, so long as you don't store the fire of your lore inside the hide of pride. Oh, the tempest skies, seeing trees we see not. Unless thy roots shall die, tempest will rot the torrent of change, to flood the stubborn misguide away. So long as you don't store the fire of our lore inside the walls of fear, our eyes shall not hide the trees touching skies. Rains the gentle shall rain here. Grandma, Grandma, your poetry is one of those trees, you know, shading my intellect from indirect sun. It's like beating my heart, beating my heart. I love you, Grandma. Come here, you can kiss. Having you as my granddaughter's son has given me strength to dream, to stand. And though I'm vanishing into motley one, I'll be watching from that lighter lens. But whatever you say, whatever you be, whatever you ask, whatever you think, I will be near, and dear, I will help if you need. And that is a promise that is never just me, so don't be afraid to ask for anything. And in that smile, she closed her eyes, and smiling, still smiling, that was... I began walking down a path, a place we'd often went, a little clover in the shady pines, where the deer would sometimes find our company and remain. The smell of mint, trickling stream, falling trees as seats, and the melody, even to this day, that clarion bird, maybe even older than me, so to speak. Walking down the path, I glanced back toward that little cabin where my grandma had just closed her eyes. And through the giant trees in a straight-up glistening primary colors dreaming in the sky, a rainbow zenith over my head, and that splendor still too singular for her. There was another rainbow, too, over the one or under the one, just as vivid and true. She's still smiling, upside down. Maybe that's why it's hard to see things sometimes. Love you, Grams. And a clarion bird in song, maybe asking for something that I too am asking for. In confidence and curiosity, a waking child. Magic door, open more, open more, open more, magic door, open more, for I know you are listening.
Yeah.
Wow, Jeremy. Yeah, that was beautiful. Oh, the best I've ever heard you do.
All right, that was Jeremy whipping it at us as usual, and now we're going to bring up Karen to the stage.
Karen!
Oh, yeah, we got walk with you.
Oh, okay. Hi. Everyone was quite amazing tonight, and I'm going to do a soliloquy, and it comes out just out of the air and from inside out. I walk the lake of fire. My feet are steady and true, and my heart is alight with the magic of volcanoes. I doubted myself, and my doubt haunted me like a hungry dog. Every step I took before the lake of fire told me that I was not who I appeared to be. The lake of fire bathes me. I skinny dip. Is a pride emerges, a pride of who I now consider myself I am. My skin does not melt, but I am transparent before the flames. I am naked to the world and beyond, and I stand in a mystical illusion of I am. I breathe the fire. Every time I go under the waves of the lake, I emerge a new being. I have wings, you know, and like other birds, I bathe the way they do. I take each wing and I part them, not unlike the phoenix, but yet just the same. I am that bird. I feel like Icarus sometimes, and I feel my wings melting under the sun, and I feel myself estranged from my own emotions. And I feel alone a lot. But then I see the sky is not indifferent. The sky, purple, orange, red, and green. The edges of my mind include this image, and I stand, bathing my wings, walking along the edges of the lake of nowhere, and I say to myself, I'm okay. I'm okay just to be who else but myself. I try not to compare myself to the others of the forest. I try not to compare myself to the ant or the elephant. I try not to see myself as different as they. We are the same. And I eat the grass, and I bathe my soul, and I wander here and there, and everywhere I see myself, and I say, ah, yes. But I am still that lake of fire. I am still that wondrous creation of which no God owns, and whom I am not separate from. I am sparse, I am thick, I am liquid, and I am light. I am thin, I am fat on the land, and I enrich myself with the grazing of the earth. And every morning, after a dreamless state of being, I walk to the lake that engulfs me, the lake that enriches my heart. And you might say it is a lake of damn, but no. The fire within me tells me I am alive, and I do not burn. Thank
you. Thank you, Karen. As usual, that was absolutely amazing.
So we've come to that time of the evening where we go through our poets. Of course, as a whatever MC, substitute, what have you, as a poet, I can't help myself. If there's a microphone, there I am, right? I'm a poet, right? All right. So I'll finish the evening with this, and thanks everybody coming down, and be sure to enjoy a cup of coffee. The Cush Cafe has absolutely the best cup of coffee in town. Born into a civilization of denial artists, ignorant, deaf ears, clouded, materialistic eyes. Born with no silver spoon, no golden ring to reach for. Thrust into a system where lies of omission rule. Born free, but no more free than every expectation, where toil holds the promise of wealth and prestige. Child, innocent of heart, we grow to trust who loves us. We seek out that energy of love like a fire to sit by. Child reflecting off all that is in front of itself, reflecting back ourselves, the teachers. Child learning to survive in this civilization must compete and sacrifice the love and the warmth of the fire. Adult, with the power to control, dominate nature, driven by demons to succeed, but not in love. Adult that yearns for love, searches for it, misses it, remembers back to child, back to born, the fire. Adult has seen through the eyes of itself, the eyes of the world.
All right. Everybody have a good night.
I would like to get a special round of applause for our guest MC, Michael Hess. I think Michael did an awesome job because I was out front in the cool breeze watching you all on my iPhone. So I saw you and you were tremendous. And remember, this can be anything you want it to be, so make it what you dream. All right, good night. Get out of here.